41 years ago, a group of agents from the almighty, at that point, William Morris Agency, broke away from that company to form CAA, Creative Artists Agency. Now, two of these guys are the giants in Hollywood. Michael Ovitz and Ron Meyer became arguably the most powerful men in Hollywood. They both left CAA in the mid-90s. They've not appeared publicly together since, well,
last night, an event at the Directors Guild of America where they engaged in a conversation with James Andrew Miller, the author of the new book, Powerhouse CAA, The Untold Story of Hollywood's Creative Artists Agency. Okay, must have been quite a night. You said intense was the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it was pretty raw. I mean, the two of them have known each other and worked together for 45 years. And they were William Morris together, and then with three others, they founded CA in 1975 and were together for 20 years. And then they kind of had this rupture and really have not been at an industry function since then.
What was it like?
I think it was, I guess raw is the best word, because I think, first of all, for the audience, just seeing the two of them together for the first time in such a long time, and as you said in the intro, they really were larger than life figures in the business. I think that was interesting. I think there was also an uncertainty about what the dynamic would be like between the two of them.
Now, you wrote this book. It's important for folks who don't follow this to know that this agency became the most powerful entity in Hollywood. They were more powerful in the studios, more powerful in the stars. They were basically putting together the deals, calling all the shots. When you wrote the book, you had these two guys. There were others, Bill Haber and others, but one was Mike Ovitz, tough guy, right?
Well, he was the least experienced and the youngest from the group, but he really had the vision.
Right. He came on, and within 10 years, he was being recognized as the most powerful man in Hollywood.
Right. And he was like a karate chop. Ron Meyer became like the warm, the avuncular heart of the agency business. But in reading your book, you're talking about Ron Meyer. He was a tough street kid.
Yeah, he's an unusual combination of qualities. He's a Marine. He's got tattoos all over. But at the same time, people talk about him. I mean, I interviewed over 500 people for this book. And there's probably like 40 or 50 who said, by the way, just want you to know, I'm Ron Meyer's best friend.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to break it to them that the list is long. Of course, it moves fast, but it's pretty extraordinary. I mean, I think the key here is these are two fundamentally different guys, but the combination of them really, really worked. So you had Ovitz with his drive and it's kind of like the analytic side and the strategic, and Ron was more about the culture and taking care of, the staff and creating the culture inside CA. So it was a powerful combination.
And they created this amazing roster of clients, these celebrities that people were dying to have in their lives.
The first big get was Paul Newman. Changed everything for them, didn't it?
Paul Newman and Sean Connery. Sean Connery. People might forget. Sean Connery was huge back then, and he was a really big, important client for them.
All right. So getting someone like Paul Newman signals what?
It signals that you're the varsity. That one of the things that Ron Meyer said last night was when he signed Sylvester Stallone, who at that time, they used to go to restaurants and they'd have to close down streets.
Yeah.
Stallone was huge, and the moment he signed Stallone, he realized that now he was going to be able to sign a lot of people, and indeed that's what happened. It was this cascade effect because people said, wait a second, if it's good enough for Stallone,
right.
If he's good enough for Stallone, if that place is good enough for Stallone, I want to be part of it.
What was the trick, for example, getting someone like Tom Cruise? Get them as they're becoming hot, before they've become hot? What was the timing of it all?
And we're looking at Cruise. That's Mike Ovitz on his right, and that is Paula Wagner, who plays a big part in this book, by the way.
Paula Wagner's an incredible figure in the book, and she was one of the first to identify Tom Cruise when he was 19. Tom Cruise has been at CA since he was 19. He's been there a long time, and I think she did this with Sean Penn and Matthew Broderick and others to identify, it's not just about the Sean Connerys and the Paul Newmans. They were playing two different kinds of games. Yeah. They were going after the varsity, and they were going after these legends, but they were also developing this young talent.
Right.
And so as a result, they were really well positioned.
So you have somebody like Jennifer Lopez. By the time she comes along, it's not just about being a star. It's about being everything.
Right, right. I mean, I think that's one of the things that was most interesting for me in the second half of the book. I mean, CA is enormously successful now, but it's not just about that core business. I mean, Sarah Jessica Parker talks about her perfume. Jennifer Lopez talks about, you know, her
Clothing line,
music and her
shoe
clothing
line,
lines and everything
perfume,
else. Eva
everything.
Longoria. I mean, they touch every aspect of the business every single day. So as a result, if you're an agency now, you have to make sure you're ready.
You know, by the way, I'm about 300 pages into your book, so I'm a little annoyed with you because I have another 450 to go.
By the way, how long did it take for you to write the book?
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
I was 6'4" and blonde before I started.
So was I. So was I, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right.
I got to cover 41 years. Come on.
Yeah.
Powerhouse CAA, now available in the usual Powerhouse places. Great to meet you. By
Good
the
to
way,
meet you.
he also wrote the ESPN book and the SNL book, so congratulations to you.
Thank you.